So when I released the video yesterday, I knew some of you will be upset just with the thought of Sofi not getting the bank charter, but in the entire video, I talked about the price target we are going to see if we do not see the charter, and also what I'm going to do with my holdings. Well, let's change the tune a bit in this video, and let me share some compelling evidence that we are going to see a bank charter, and along with that, what this company holds for us in the coming months. Now, with the market-wide selling today, everything was in pure red. The whole tech, fintech, and you name it sector is selling off. And I had mentioned in our Discord that when we get the news of first Omicron virus in the US, we are going to see a major sell-off. And today was that. Let's see what happens tomorrow. Thanks to the Omicron and our Fed. So today in this video, I'm here to share a few things that will make you feel a little bit better. So in the past 2 days, Sofi had attended 2 virtual conferences where they talked about the company, and there were few things that were mentioned in these calls that were really interesting and worth noting. So let's not waste any time and let's get into it right away. And just as a reminder, if you like the video, then please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing so you don't miss on future videos. And if you enjoy talking about Sofi, Tesla, Palantir, and other stocks, then join our Patreon and Discord. Link is in the description. Okay, coming back to the video. So Anthony Noto attended a Morgan Stanley investor conference and were asked few important questions. Now, I'm not going in detail with everything that was talked about, but only give you few hints and few other things that I thought were really interesting. Let's start here. So over here is the conference right here. Sofi Technologies CEO Anthony Noto presents at Morgan Stanley. And the first question that was asked was, if you could describe your go-to marketing or market strategy for generating new members. This was the whole answer, but of course, I'm going to bring your attention to a very important point right here. So what is consumer hiring us to do at Sofi? And they are hiring us to help them get their money right. And our goal is to help them get their money right, so they reach the point that they have enough of it to realize their ambitions. And that's what we call financial independence. Now, one thing to pay attention here is that the analyst asked, can you describe your go-to market strategy for generating new members? They could have said ad campaigns. They could have said many things that they are doing behind the scene for marketing efforts. But look what CEO said. They're concerned about consumers and also them reaching financial independence. This is a very consumer-centric or consumer-driven company, which is really exciting for a fintech, especially when they are new in the scene. They don't want to rely on, let's say, TikTok campaign or the stadium deal or anything that's going on behind the scene. Their focus is still on creating the product for the members. So member is the number one thing that they are concerned about, or I would say convenience to members. It also gets very interesting in the second question. You had a really nice uptick in new members this past quarter. Is there anything you could point that you did differently or that resonated more with your prospects that drove that outcome? Again, very important question and very good answer. Look, this is the whole answer. I'm going to point or bring your attention to this important part right here. Each team, and they're talking about the individual team that they have within Sofi. So Sofi Money, Sofi Credit, Sofi Crypto, those are the teams. Each team has a whole roadmap of opportunities to move money faster, to make it available quicker when you want to buy a stock, when you want to withdraw your money, make it available quicker when you deposit it, make it available quicker selection. If you think about Invest, we are constantly adding selection to Invest. It's not just adding few different types of crypto coins, but now this is get very interesting. But it's adding things like margins and options and after-hour trading. Now, in the comments in the past, many of you have mentioned that day they have option trading, you're going to move your account to Sofi. This is happening, and I think this is happening pretty soon. So they're saying they're adding things like margins, options, and after-hour tradings. New pieces of information, advice, access to our certified functional planners, that all falls into that selection. So I feel this is really exciting for the coming year or 2022 for Sofi. It's going to be really big and huge. See, things like margins, options for after-hour trading, all this information or all these things are really important for someone who is looking to open an account where they can bring everything to that one account. Sofi was missing some of these things, and now they're planning to add it in the coming year. Number 3, number of product per customer. This was really interesting. So we have applied, and this is where the bank charter news comes in. We have applied for a national bank license. You could imagine if we get the bank license, there are other products we could offer in that category, like high yield savings, in addition to some other innovative things we could do as it relates to banking product. I'm going to stop right here and actually jump into the second call because I feel this point will be very well explained in the second detail or the second call that I'm going to share with you. So now let's jump to the Credit Suisse call that took place today, and their CFO attended that call, or SoFi's CFO attended that call right here. Okay, the few comments were made in that call which were very interesting. I would say more interesting than Anthony Noto's comments. This is amazing as he did drop few hints, their CFO did drop few hints that are very exciting to me. So let's start with an amazing question. Number one question right here. So it says, before we step into some of the segments, I just want to talk at a high level for growth for SoFi through 2025. So this is a very interesting question for SoFi through 2025. So this is what they're saying. Our overall outlook has not changed since we went through the IPO and STAC process. At a high level by 2025, we want to be a 3.7 billion revenue business with about 1.2 billion of adjusted EBITDA. In terms of high growth within the segment breakdown, we are expecting our lending business to grow about 25%. Lending business is their biggest business, and they are expecting the lending business to grow about 25% annually over the course of next 5 years. They're not saying that they expect the growth or 25% growth for the next few quarters. They're saying for the next 5 years. This is really, really big. Then they're saying our tech platform, which we expect to see about 50% annual growth over the course of next 5 years. So 25% in the lending segment and 50% in the tech segment. Now, tech segment is very profitable, and they are estimating a growth of about 50% in the tech segment, which is again very exciting. The second question. In terms of student loan, personal loan, and home loans, one common question we get from investors is around what happens as interest rates go up and down. This was the question that was asked in some of my videos as well. Do I think that the interest rate change that's coming is going to help SoFi or hurt SoFi? This is a very good answer. So in rising interest rate environment, and we are starting to see over the course of the last few quarters, our personal loan business does really well as people are looking to refinance out of variable interest rate debt and into attractive fixed rate debt, which is what we offer with our unsecured loans. Then in lower interest rate environment, our student loan refinancing business and home loan refinancing business does extremely well. So we have successfully navigated over the course of the last few years different interest rate cycles. This is really interesting. That means it doesn't matter if the interest rate goes up or comes down, they have the product to cater to both needs. This is really exciting because we know that student loan is going to come back at the end of January. Well, let's hope that. And student loan is a big, big business for SoFi. So I think Q1 of 2022 is going to be amazing. Q4 is going to be amazing. Vacation time, lot of unsecured loans. But Q1 of 2022 will be huge because of the student loan for SoFi. Okay, then comes the next. Why don't we just start with a brief overview of what Galileo business does and how it earns money? This was really interesting, and some of you might not know this, but of course, if you're invested in a long term or for a long time in SoFi, you probably already know this. Right now, I think we have publicly stated that it's about 90% of all neobank. That means 90% of all neobank that exist, they go through Galileo or now SoFi. So this is what they're saying. The way that we make money on that business is purely on transaction basis. So every time someone loads their account, swipes their card, we take a cut of that transaction. This is huge. So think of all the neobanks and their customers and their clients, they all are SoFi's customers. This is really interesting. And then they're saying we have made significant investment in terms of transitioning into the cloud, and over the next several quarters and throughout 2022, you are going to see us get into additional product and features that will help drive ARPU, means average revenue per unit, and real customer growth. So basically they are in a very aggressive growth mode right now. Now the last question, this is very interesting, which I'm going to tie to the last question of Anthony Noto's interview. It's differentiated, it comes with a potential for revenue upside, for cost savings, and that's the bank charter obviously, which is something that not all the competitors are pursuing. So now this is what Chris or their CFO has to say about bank charter. We have applied for bank charter last October, we already know that. We received pre-conditional approval from OCC, we know that. Over the course of the last year, we have been going through field exams with both OCC and the Fed, and things have progressed really nicely. And we have had a great dialogue with both Fed and the OCC and are optimistic. Now, this is where I will lead, or I will connect the dot to this point right here. We have applied for national bank license. You could imagine if we do get a bank license, there are other products we could offer in that category. So now, just in last 2 days, their CFO and their CEO are mentioning bank charter openly in the public. If there were any doubt that we are not going to get bank charter, they will not say it in these interviews because that's like basically misleading. They are a publicly traded company and they have to tread very carefully on what language they use in these interviews. So this is, I would say, a confirmed thing for me personally that we are going to see a bank charter news very soon. Now again, they are talking about that they are working with the Fed, they are working with the OCC. My original estimation was that we are going to see the bank charter news in the beginning of January or beginning of 2022. I would say in the month of January, we are going to see most likely, like Lending Club did on December 30th or 31st, they will announce. And then whenever we open next day for business on 3rd or 4th of January, whatever day that Monday falls, we are going to see SoFi trade as a bank because of the new year and new financial books and all those things. Again, nobody has a clue, nobody has a date, but this is what I'm estimating. So in the second point, what he's saying is that they rely on about 6 billion of warehouse capacity. That means they need to have 6 billion liquid dollars available to make the loans and to basically run the operation of their business. So now they're saying, so we originate loan, we fund them with warehouse capacity, and historically we have paid anywhere between 175 to 400 basis point in terms of cost of capital. This is really high. Think of it this way. You have to pay someone 4% interest rate to borrow the money to run your business. This is really expensive. So now what he's saying is that what we will be able to do with the bank charter is use our SoFi money deposit. That means if you are depositing money in your savings account in SoFi, they can use that money, which are quite significant right now. That means a lot of people are depositing the money in SoFi, and we will grow over time. We'll be able to use those deposits and offer a high industry leading interest rate to our consumers and still lower overall cost of capital. So think of it this as we are paying 300 basis points on warehouse facility, but we offer 1% interest rate to our SoFi members. We'll be able to save about 200 basis points in terms of origination cost of our lending business, which is quite significant. It is. Their profit and their EBITDA is going to go through the roof once they get this. So this is very, very good point and very, very strong point. So today's market sell-off was one that you need to take full advantage. I did lots of buying today and send the alert to our Discord and Patreon members, and days like this you wish you had more funds. And SoFi is a growth story. As I have mentioned in my previous video, that SoFi and any other growth stock lives and breathes in the same market and will follow the market health. So when the market turns green, SoFi will also turn green. I did remove my stop loss on SoFi as this was a fear-based selling and not a fundamental selling, and SoFi will recover. I was just hoping to find some more money today because it was just a beautiful day to get value names. I did a video recently talking about the market crash. We'll link it over here. If you have not seen it, do watch it as it does bring out few important points. I hope I provided some value. If you like the video, then consider giving it a thumbs up and consider subscribing so we can reach out to more SoFi lovers. And for one-on-one conversations, consider joining our Patreon group. As always, an absolute pleasure to share all of this with you. Until next time, you all have a sparkling day.